So very good afternoon to all of you. This is a great day and we are going to start our TEDx Kanke webinar series. This is our 18th webinar consecutively, which we had started on 2nd of May, where we had invited senior bureaucrats, industry captains, educationists, and the list is going on. Today is another great day for everyone. Independence Day, 74th Independence Day. I was just seeing the number and years of our independence when I was not born at that time. So the year was 1947. When you just flip the side of 47, it becomes 74. So 74 years of journey of independence it's a huge time, and we have moved ahead. We have done a lot. We have progressed. We have transformed, and we are moving ahead in a right direction, I can say. Fortunately or unfortunately, this is a tough time. This is a very crisis time, and everyone is in panic, uncertainty, and lots of problem happening. So what to do? The best thing, to unite yourself, to share your dream, to just share your ideas, to share your experience, that people will have confidence level to overcome any crisis and any problem. And that's the best way also to serve the society, serve the humanity, and also to think about your ecosystem and planet. TEDx Kanke is just a small initiative to bring the best ideators, best mind, best experienced people from government side, from industry side, from education side, from a different stream also. And we are keep doing such a similar program to engage our local community from pan-India and across the globe also. So that's another opportunity to meet all of you, to interact, to engage, to communicate with you, where we both of us learn from by sharing our experiences. As we all know, in any crisis, any uncertainty, innovation is key. If there is a crisis, something will come up. And that's a great time also. In most of the crisis time, world has responded in a positive way. They have come back with all your great ideas. They have invented, they have discovered, they have overcome all that crisis by putting their great ideas. So what actually innovation means to bring you back on the mainstream? If you just try to understand what is the opposite of innovation, if I say that word is in English, exnovation, where you stop innovating and you just keep applying the innovation for betterment of everything. But here we are going to talk innovation, which is a key. This is the right time where we need to understand how we can overcome from this crisis. We are very fortunate that we are having a panel of speakers from a very experienced and from a very varied background. They are a great person, and they are doing great for their organization and for the society also. Our first speaker, when I was just going through his profile, Dr. Jatra PG. He's a doctor, he's a surgeon, he is a retinal and cataract surgeon who has done more than 10,000 surgery. And what's his passion? His passion, apart from doing surgery, he's a traveler, he's an innovator, he's an ideator. He talks about artificial intelligence, he talks about robotics, he talks about a startup. Great thing. And that's a wonderful thing to hear from him. And so we will just get his insight. So I welcome Dr. Jatra for his insightful and his experience for this session. We have another speaker, very great experience, Mr. D. Rajendra Kotaria. He's a self-made man and managing director of Optica company, which deals in all ophthalmologist product, and very keen to serve the society. He helps the poor, he helps the startup, and he keep helping a different organization at his level. He's a great human being. Our third speaker, again a technocrat, Mr. Puneet Raj. When I was going through his profile, I found, oh wow, he has done BTech and MTech from IIT Chennai, and he's an avid technologist. He loves to work with the startup, to share his ideas and brings the best from him, and is trying to serve the society in a better way. And he totally concerned about the social issue, what we are facing right now. So what he's going to share, we will hear him. Our another panelist, Mr. Abhishek Kausal, as he's looking very smart, a heroic personality, but very well educated. He has done engineering and MBA from IIM Ranchi, a keen traveler, ideator, very keen to develop a startup and serve the society. He has represented and basically invited by Nobel Peace Prize 15 Oslo. He went to Oslo in healthcare innovation program where he represented India, and with his team, he just shared his ideas what he is doing. As a student entrepreneur, he was selected as the judge's choice for 2014 Tata First Dot powered by NEN Global. So young guy, great energy, and with all great ideas. We have four panelists to talk on innovation and why innovation is important. We'll also talk his invention, kind of invention, what they're doing, and how they're trying to bring something unique for our benefit. So first of all, I request and I invite our first speaker, Dr. Jatra PG, to start this session and to talk about innovation, his ideas, his future plan. Over to you, Dr. Jatra. Please unmute your audio and welcome to TEDx Kanke webinar series.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for inviting TEDx Kanke. It's really an honor to me to be on this platform and share my ideas and my journey about innovations. I was not like very much, I was more of an underdog most of the time, but the environment changes a lot.
Yeah.
So actually I was introduced to technology and about computers and everything way back in 2006. Still when I joined Arvind Eye Hospital, I was surprised to see Arvind Eye Hospital is the world's biggest eye case system, where I did my residency. And there they used computers and everything to make things simpler and make things go very smooth. And I was very amazed by that. And I want to embrace that. And after my residency, then I got another opportunity at Giridhara Institute where I was doing Retina Fellowship. There I had an opportunity to work with EMR, Electronic Medical Record, where somehow it sparked me, and I took interest in that. And we implemented electronic medical record within a few days. The whole idea there, it was for me that I should make the EMR very simple. It should be simple for the end users so that the acceptance is very good. So if whatever technology it is there, if the end user, for the end user, it is very simple, then it will get accepted. So that is what my whole idea is. So, and during the same time, see, this pandemic has given us a lot of time. There was another time for me when I was in Arvind Eye Hospital, like I was around 250 patients per day. When I was there, I was seeing around 40 to 50 patients per day. And when I went to Vellore and joined one hospital where I was able to, after my fellowship, I started my job. There I had only around 30 patients to see in whole day, and half of the day I was empty-handed. So then I thought I should utilize this time. Then I worked on the imaging system, smartphone imaging system. During that time, there was everybody was trying to do something. So I also started doing it. So that was my step as innovation. Now I have a low-cost device, the Reticam, which we can take anti-segment and the retina images using your smartphone. And that one, around 500 doctors are using it, taking around 1,500 images per day. And it's been great.
Yeah.
So like that, during the course of time, with this innovation only, then our teammates, our Abhishek, Puneet, and we met. I was able to meet them. So one thing is, innovation is like you have an idea, but many times the things won't work out at that time. but you have to be very persistent and continue on your idea. When the time comes, when all the time comes, it sets up. See, in this today, what we have made is UV chamber. Okay, we were able to conceptualize and make it in the product just in 40 days, just because it was not only me. We had a team. Like, I have an idea, I know like what all things has to go in and what we want. And Puneet helped us in all the technical stuff, and Mr. Rajendra Kotaria, Mr. Rajendra sir, he helped us to kind of from the concept to make it materialize and get it into market in just in 40 days. So here our team makes a lot of difference. As an individual, innovations as an individual you can do, but it takes a long time. But if you should have a great team, then things can run very fast, very smooth, and you can make multiple innovations, and you can get to market. My whole idea is simplicity, and we have made this UV UV chamber, UV Ninja. So in such a way that it's not for a doctor. See, for as a doctors who more technically, we can tell them what is there, what called this thing. But this device we have made designed in such a way that general population, anybody can use this device, and without any this thing. So we are getting the SOPs of a hospitals into the each and every home, where the house will become very sterile and very clean environment to be safe and have peace of mind. That is very important during this time. The peace of mind is more important than anything else. So this is my introduction about innovation. For a general as such, I have some more ideas which still are there still in my mind, which during 10 years back, I have some ideas like electronic medical record. I want to work on it. But till now, I have met so many vendors and everything. Still, it has not, the concept has become not materialized. But I'm persistent on it. Innovation is something like you have an idea, it comes and goes, but you should be persistent to make it. When the time comes, you have to meet people, make a team, good team, then it will become materialized. So patience is very important in innovating anything, new things. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, so thank you, Yatra, for this insight. Now we are moving to D. Rajendra Kotaria, sir, who has a huge experience, and he's a founder member of Needy Heart Foundation, where he has helped more than 10,000 surgeries of poor by his own interest, and he's serving the society in a different way. He's mentoring the startup, and he's helping people from core of his heart, and he's a great human being. So when he's supporting startups, when he's helping all those ideator and innovator, because they always fail many times also. So how he keeps them helping and guiding them to take their journey to next level, which is very important. So I request D. Rajendra Kotaria sir to share his view, his insight, so that we all will learn and get something from this session. So over to you, Mr. Kotaria.
Hello, good evening to everybody.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, looks to be very senior in front of you. So I'm very happy to be associated with TEDx. And my journey started in the industry in 1986. Okay, I'm basically a pharmacist, and I don't know anything about optics at that time when I started my industry.
Okay.
So as you say, it's like destiny is fixed for every human being. So my destiny was in the optics. So optics industry in India is very challenging. Yes. There is very few industries which you can count on the fingers, maybe 4 or 5 in the whole of country. And there is no skill available for the optics. And since my background is entirely different, it was too much challenging for me. It was too much challenging for me to understand the subject and do the best. So I've gone through a lot of up and downs and understand the optics. I studied the optics, gone through a lot of books, and then my subject was aerospace and defense. Oh, wow. So in 1988, we built the first laser windows for Jaguar aircrafts, which was the first achievement there. in 1986, and we had hardly 7-8 people. And where I came from, my background is very middle class family, where I brought up in a very small village. There was no schools in that time. I have to travel a lot, and money is not there. So how you survive? So my willpower was very strong that time. Something we want to do different in this one. People, I want to always be in the special queue, not in the normal queue. So I have chosen this subject as optics. And today we have done great projects. Like we was the first person to make the Jaguar aircraft laser windows. We made in 2002 with the Social Justice Welfare Ministry. We developed the low vision aspheric lenses for the half blind people in 2002. And I worked with Abdul Kalam the time for 3-4 days. And he was the project initiator after Pokhran blast. The product got national award. I got Defense Technology Spin-off Award from Honorable Prime Minister Vajpayee.
Wow.
And that was my turning point. Then people recognize the industry. Okay, these are the people who can do. And the polymer optics was the first subject in India. No industry was available in India.
Yeah.
So, and like that, we was the first person to make camera optics in India for the Kodak. We used to, people was to import from China. We were exporting to China that time in 2002. Then I was passionate towards innovation. As you say, in the life, what is the important? People says in the business, what is important? Important is not marketing or manufacturing. You keep innovating the product. It will make you successful. Because change is the nature law, I think so. So keep changing your ideas, keep changing your innovation, keep changing the product. Maybe you will be successful. So in that way, I think I met Mr. Kaushal in 3 years back, Mr. Kaushal, 3 years back. Yeah, 3 years back.
Yeah.
And he had a very excellent idea about artificial intelligence with Mr. Dr. Jaitra. And I was passionate towards to support this startup. Since I was in R&D for making the optics. So it is my main product, optics. So I decided to support this young team for making the product successful. And if you say out, because what you can say, for social, actually I am basically a physically challenged guy. I have one leg polio. So I'm always associated with the social, something to do with the human being.
Yes.
So we have started Needy Heart Foundation in maybe in around 2000, approximately 2002 we started. And in 18 years of journey, we done around 10,000 bypass surgeries completed. That is only for poor people. So this was our biggest achievement. Mr. O.P. Khanna is there. He is the chairman for that foundation. And I was the founder trustee, and my office was started. There was a small office. We started the Heart Foundation. And today it reached to different goal. We are associated with very big hospitals like Narayana Hrudayalaya, Jaydeva Hospital, Manipal Hospital, Wockhardt, Fortis, so many hospitals. And this is what we are giving the joy. So I believe in giving. Giving always gives you the joy, not receiving end. And for entrepreneurs, I can tell you.
Sir, we are not getting your audio. Can you check your audio? Yeah, now it's
okay
coming.
now?
Yeah,
Is
it's
it okay now?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So for the young entrepreneurs, I want to tell one thing, that create a hunger.
Yeah.
If you have hunger, you can be successful in all the line. Whatever you do, you will enjoy that. That's what I want to tell you. Anything, I think that's what I can tell you. And about this UV Ninja, see, in the COVID-19, it was a disaster for us also, because we have 200 people. What to do with the resources?
Yes.
We came out different ideas. At least we cannot find out the medicine for this COVID, how we can protect the COVID. So we came out with the face shield manufacturing, then the thinking lot. I was gone through a lot of Google and find out the UV light is most fantastic light for the disinfection application. For the any virus, you can disinfect any bacteria, you can disinfect. Then we thought at least for that particular wavelength 257 nm light can kill the virus and kill the bacteria also. So we decided to associate with Mr. Kaushal and Dr. Jaitra and made this UV Ninja cabinet. That's how our journey started. Yes. Thank you.
That's wonderful, sir. That great insight, and with all your great experience, we will learn a lot from you. There is no doubt on that. And what a human being you are, sir. Grand salute to you, I can say. And we need to learn so many things. So now we have Mr. Puneet Raj, a very techie guy. He has worked as a chief technological officer and very varied experience. So I want to hear from him what innovation and what he's doing in this COVID time. So over to you, Puneet.
Thank you, Rajiv ji, and thank you for inviting me to be in the panel. It's a real honor, and it's it's a hard task to inherit the cue from Dr. Rajendra Kutaria, such a great human being, and after having shared his views, it's really hard to follow that up. So yeah, but let me try. So I'm a maker, I'm a teacher, and most importantly, a student. And I will always be a student. So, but the passion for learning was, I learned it, or I picked it up in my college days in IIT Madras. I did in my BTech and MTech in engineering design, where it was a brand new course, and I was only the second batch in it. And I'm proud to say that it has made its mark. So it was one of the initiatives from the government that design courses should be added in technical institutes of excellence, and so I was a part of it, and in the second batch, and it really changed my perspectives, and it really tuned me into the product development line, how to be very innovative, how to identify innovation. So so that's where I really picked it up. I was a student who used to always ask a different kind of a question, and think. I always make it a point to think very different, and I really found where would I use that faculty. So I really made the maximum use of it. So until then, I was learning until I joined Radiate, where I started putting a lot of my previous experience into action, of innovating, of really going crazy with my ideas and coming up with products and solutions, which is really great. And I really proud to be with the team of Dr. Jaitra, Kaushal, and Kutaria ji. So before this, my first job was as a very technical guy, engineer, was just coding. Even though I was in engineering design, I joined a robotics company where I was mostly coding. I was coding, the codes for the how the machine should work, and it was that was really where I really became very interested in coding, more and more technical aspects. So I was very mechanical since my major was in mechanical subject, but coding also, I discovered I loved coding also. After that, I went to another, became a CTO of a 3D printing manufacturing company and a robotics company, where I designed 3D printers. And then after that, I did a diploma course which was offered by one of the MIT professors, Neil Gershenfield. He's the director of Center of Bits and Atoms, and that really changed my perspective on fast development of products.
Wonderful.
So everyone knows that agile system of work, or system or product development in software, but something similar is being done in hardware also. and software is everywhere, and it is so easy for us to use. And Professor Neil Gershenfield was teaching us how to do it with the hardware, and that is where I learned rapid prototyping or rapid product development. Within 6 months, I developed CNC, which is one of its kind. Uh, Usually CNC is a very rigid structure. It can't move. I thought of a CNC which moves like a robot, and it it can cut, it can write, and stuff like that. So after that, I also became a teacher immediately after my course with Professor Neil. I became a teacher, and then I started teaching uh, young minds all around the world. So Fab Academy is a program which I did, and I also teach. It's a program where many young people, many old people, and from artists to engineer, they come to learn this, digital fabrication. How do you create a product within 6 months, within 1 month? Given that you have an idea, you get the skill sets, and you can develop it. So I teach that, and and I always knew Abhishek from 5-6 years, and we always used to have this conversation of what all products we can do, and with the skills I had back then. Actually, it's a very funny story. So how we met Dr. Jaitra. He was developing his own product. We were developing something, like we were a competitor to his product. So I was developing that, and me and Abhishek together. So along that line, we met Dr. Jatra, and we became more entrenched into creating solutions in eye care. So I was doing a lot of hardware till that point. After that, I was doing coding also, but I I became really interested into coding for artificial intelligence when I joined Radiate, when I joined Vishek, when I started working on eye care solutions. And the times changed. Now it's the time of the COVID, and we are still innovating. So we are developing solutions for COVID. UV Ninja, which you have heard from, it is just a starting point, and we are going to develop more solutions. And along with Optica Kotaria ji's support, I think we can make a lot of those products into reality.
Certainly. Thanks. Thanks, Puneet, because and Dr. Rajendra Kotarias has also told a great team is very important when you go for any innovation which helps you and to start something new. So now we have Abhishek Kausal. So after doing engineering and management, normally 99 and 100% people just think of a good and big job with having a good CTC, with having a good CTC also, so that life will be cool and secured. He preferred differently. So that's why we say we need many more ideators, and these ideators certainly in future they are going to be outlier, and they will not only contribute the society but whole humanity, no doubt on that. So please welcome Abhishek for his insight, his journey, his idea, what he's doing, and how he's trying to bring a valuable change in the society through his initiatives. Over to you, Abhishek.
Thank you so much, Rajiv sir. I think so. You're right. I mean, majority of the people after doing their MBA would want to get into corporate. I was one of them. I did join. Almost had good 1.5 years of fun time sitting in Bangalore. I was in sales. I was working for a Fortune 500 medical devices company, and I was good at sales. So I was able to sit at home 15 days and only had to go out for 15 days to really still skyrocket the sales at the end of the month. So, but at the same time, I mean, I've done something during my college. We were running a company. We were profitable. We were doing a revenue of almost close to 30,000 per day on some good days. So it was going good, but working in this healthcare company exposed me to the inadequacies of the healthcare system. We were celebrating our sales target when people were getting more sick. And the whole healthcare is more about treating people. It's not about trying to save people from getting that treatment or being more holistic. So I think so that experience in healthcare got me to an understanding how to work with doctors, how to work with stakeholders from the industry, how to work with, let's say, how to keep the patient first in your mind when you go about designing something. And that journey has sort of taken us to this point of forming a company wherein we are looking at developing softwares which can help go to a village where a doctor might not be present. A doctor might be present, but he may come for 2 hours, but there are 300 patients waiting over there. So such kind of software can help in these places. Apart from that, we are working with Rajendra sir to come up with one of the low-cost innovations worldwide for eye care scanning. And that kind of a device powered by software that we already have, it could be a revolution. That kind of innovation, people would always say, what is Israel making? What is Boston making in US? And we are making such things in Bangalore in India. And this is a perfect collaboration. You know, someone said, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. But working with this team of Dr. Jatra, Rajendra sir, Puneet, I say it is about the company. It is not about even the journey or the destination. So learning from such a variety of experience where you have a surgeon, you have a stalwart of industry, you have a complete technocrat, built of mind person, and also the two people who work with us, Saurav and Nachiket, were part of our company. I think so we have taken upon multiple challenges. We've gone deep, we've stuck to our gut. One of the best things that has helped us is asking for help. I think so a lot of people don't ask for help. India is good. People are good. People are there to help you. A lot of us do not reach out to that right person. He's waiting. That door is waiting. No one tries to open that door. So one of the best things that has worked for us is that we have reached out to people. We have asked people, hey, this is the good thing that we are doing. Can you help us in some way? And this is a testament that in under 40 days, from an idea stage to having a small device, which is now being tested at some doctors, and we are also sending to some labs. It's a small process that we have learned in multiple times working together as a team. And the result is in 40 days, we could iterate around the device on COVID-19. And now we are going to take it to so many different hospitals, so many different offices and homes of people.
True. Very rightly you have told Abhishek. So as you all know, this is a small team of UV Ninja. They are into innovating many things. They have started small. They have already invented a device. I just want to share with you the prototype of that device. Then I will get the feedback from our panelists. All of you will have some idea what is it. It's not a mini refrigerator. It's something unique. As you are aware that the topic of today is innovating to defeat the pandemic. We are understanding this crisis. We are understanding what's happening all around. We all are suffering directly or indirectly through these viruses. It is something about virus. So I just request Jatra to talk on this innovative idea so that we will get more information on that. Jatra, please.
Yeah, the virus can come inside our body or our home and everything. Basically, when we talk through our hands. See, in hospitals, we have World Hand Wash Day because we uh, we follow standard operating procedure in hospital where the cross infection we have to stop. Touching one patient and without washing hands or sanitizing a hand, touching other patient, there can be cross infection. So we do hand wash daily. This number of hand wash have increased for us for doctors, but it is a standard. It has imbibed in our system that we hand wash. Normally we used to hand wash around 10 to 15 times in a day. So now it might have increased around 5 times. So these are the things. It's very new for the general public, and wearing mask and maintaining social distancing definitely is going to reduce the chances that you're going to get COVID. And a few more things are the particulates which are there on the surface. See, I am at home, I'm maintaining all the standard operating procedures, maintaining sterility and everything. I don't, when I come back home, I come with a peace of mind that I know that I don't have any COVID on my body or anything. But if anything comes in my house, a package or anything, we don't know. I want to protect my daughter, I have to protect my parents. So the surface also, there can be COVID. So the most important thing in this pandemic is the peace of mind. We manage patients, very bad patients and everything. And the thing is, we have done the best for the patient. What is the standard treatment? What is the best treatment? And we do it, and that gives us peace of mind that we did all to the maximum what we can do and to save the patient or save the vision. So same thing, the peace of mind should be there for everyone. So this is one of the things where we do not, it is not only for the hospital, for each and every home. So there is another circle of protection for the people. So anything coming inside the house, it comes through this UV Ninja. So you are free of your any fear that there is nothing, the COVID or anything is coming inside. So the mental health, well-being is also important in this time pandemic. See, many number, you see the numbers in the TV that so many people are affected with COVID, but there are many more people who are affected with the fear of COVID, that it may come and everything. So this is one of the things which is going to reduce your fear. So, and we have devised in such a way that it has to be by the most, your maid has to use it, and there should be no difficulty in it. So we have only one or two buttons. You just keep it for 3 minutes. It's on, and you remove it, and you are completely sure there's nothing on it.
Yeah, great.
So the simplicity is that it can be used by anyone. That's what my whole idea of innovation. So this is how it is.
Yeah, that's a great thing actually, Jayendra. Just a small question in a lighter mood also. Just I have seen a small size of this device, which is a mini refrigerator. But when we will have a product like a big elephant, how we can just get corona free, or big product. So is there any future innovation will come which will help us also? What do you say?
Yeah, the thing is, see, what we have is UV chamber. It has to be secure and everything. And we have UV lamps also, which we are will be marketing for the hospitals.
Yeah,
I think has to be the exposure. See, the exposure to UVC doesn't cause anything, but that fear is also there. We have to be very sure that it is not exposed outside. That even the glass won't transmit the UV light. So if you have a UV lamp, if you have a big thing, you keep that big thing in a room, and you switch on the UV lamp, and that will take care of the huge thing also.
okay.
When it is on, it is remote controlled, and you can switch it off from outside, and you can switch it off from inside. From outside, you can move it from one place to another place. So that kind of innovation is also there. But the thing is, how we going to give it to the customer? They should understand. But this UV box it's very simple. There are other things which needs some SOPs and everything, but this has nothing. No, don't worry anything. Just a box, you keep it and everything. So
in future, what do you think, that is there any possibility that as we are using our car and vehicle, and if suppose that we are sitting in our bedroom also, so is there any UV light treatment that it will be free from corona or from any viruses? Is there any possibility in future that scientists and innovators will work on?
See, UV light is there for a long time. We have UV bulbs also, which are there, which are motion sensors are there. So
Okay.
you move in and then it gets switched off. So you can
Okay.
switch it on like that or that. And this UV light is going to kill corona.
Okay.
See, like sanitizing these pharma companies and everything, and most of the sterilization is done by UV light only. This technology is there since decades. But for the general public, it has not been come. You see, the most common, every house has UV light. You know, you have a water purifier, RO and UV. Though that is the water passes through the UV tubing, and it is disinfected, especially the virus. So now that it has started, now the products will start coming in future also. We have other ideas also, handheld also we have planning to do the products where it can be used and disinfect bigger areas also through handheld.
Thank you. Thank you. So now I'm requesting Mr. Rajendra Kotaria sir to talk on this innovation journey, how he supported this team and where they are going and what many innovations we will see in future also. So over to you, Rajendra sir.
You're asking about subject to UV or some other area?
Innovation, general innovation, because innovation is the key thing that we need to keep progressing ourselves, and we can fight and overcome many crises in future also. So how we are building a innovation culture in India as a whole, which is very important. And with all your great experience, if people will hear, then you will understand, yes, innovation should come forward and people should take this challenge, so that we will overcome and we will design something new, and we will keep innovating also. That mindset, that ideators, that instinct needs to come forward, so that the whole humanity will be benefited.
So more and more challenges comes in life.
Yeah.
I think innovation starts from there. Okay. So any like
We should be ready for that.
We should be ready for that. We should be ready for that. And I told you, innovation is the key for success.
Yes.
Innovation is only the key for the success.
True.
So innovation, like challenges comes to us and we give the solutions, lot of solutions.
Yes.
Like one innovation I can tell you from my side, what we done for the wind tunnel is the first wind tunnel we built in India indigenously for the DRDO.
Okay.
It is very prestigious, where before launching the missiles, they want to check the air density. So it is indigenously developed. So challenge was there. We supposed to give the solution. So we are given the solutions. Like that, like this in UV light, COVID, we know there are several lights people are using for inhaling the light also. You can put the light through the fiber optics inside, where the virus or corona can be killed. By 222 nanometer UV light, if you use it, you can kill the virus. That is proven worldwide. But maybe because of the safety, the direction, WHO, all the stopping there, the technology is not coming out here.
Okay.
Second UV light is 257 nanometer. This is, as Dr. Jaitra told, it is using from the decades and decades, people are using this light. For any sterilization, you can use this UV light. Your fungus, bacterial, or maybe your viral, all the viruses you can kill by this light.
Okay.
And there 356, again UVA, people are using for in your water purification or general your mosquito killing or some lot of other areas people are using it. So we should stop importing the technologies. We should doing in technologies indigenously here.
Yes.
So what is happening, we normally take the easy route.
Yes.
Is available in the market, we pick up and just use that.
Yeah.
Or maybe selling, like industry like us also, we also think sometimes why to develop here when it's available. So for your information, the Optica is going to be now the government authorized R&D center, approved R&D center.
Wonderful.
So we are going to do a lot of R&Ds for the different industries also in our company.
Okay.
Keep innovating, keep innovating.
Yeah. That's no other way actually. There is no shortcut up, man. Whatever cost we need to bear, we have to bear that cost actually.
Yes, yes.
So you will get the support from a different stakeholder also. When you just keep ideating and innovating, there is no doubt on that.
Yes.
So now coming to Mr. Puneet, because he's a technical guy. In present scenario, people are talking about health sector and medical professionals, but technology is going to help and disrupt the whole medical professional in a bigger way. So where do you find this technology will be a disruptive thing, which will certainly create a major key driver for medical innovation? So what do you say on that?
So true. So technology has always been there. There's a lot of technologies that exist. Like Dr. Jaitra was saying, UV technology has been there since 1900s, and a new use has come about right now because the need has arisen. So more than the technology, the matching of the need to the solution, to the science, whatever technology exists, and then putting it in a package which is palatable, which is relevant to the times. So that is very much important, and that is what we are actually trying to do. And with the solutions which we have developed with Kutaria ji, this is what we are trying to address the need of the time.
Okay, thank you. So now coming to Abhishek, because you have started this concept and idea, and we all know that this is a hard time and the crisis has a many-fold impact. There is no doubt on that. It's just a start, one product, one idea. And I think with your good team, you are going to innovate, you are going to create so many innovation in future. What's your big idea?
All right. So the big idea that takes into account the best synergies of the whole team. So I would, as a business person or a strategy person, I would look at the best market needs and then what the best this team can do. So we have a doctor who's done 10,000 surgeries. We have a technocrat who's sort of built products, 3D printing to other fields. And we have an industrial stalwart with us who has had work experience with different sort of industries across the globe. They've played their part in ISRO's Chandrayaan-2 mission too. So that's another thing that we are extremely proud about. Their team has done optics for the payload system. And imagine that ISRO is now compared as one of the better systems, even equivalent or better than NASA at something. So it's the kind of resources we have access to. So if we all have to give back one thing back to India, I think so all our hearts go out at blindness in India. We are very passionate about eye care. This is what we discussed in joke that in 2002, like Kutaria sir was mentioning, he was given an award by Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So that was his first inning. Now it's his second innings of eye care with us. So the idea is to come up with it's a new age. It's the age of artificial intelligence. We have ideas to sort of implement certain software, certain hardware. So this team is going to come up with some of the most advanced systems in eye care. And that should bring down almost 1/3 of the world's blind people are in India. So after 3 to 5 years, you'll start seeing that number decrease. And we hope we can play our part in that. So if there is a vision, that's a vision to work together.
True, very true. So in nutshell, innovation will certainly drive and we will overcome this crisis. And as Mr. Kutaria has told, we need to face these challenges so that we can keep innovating and we can keep coming with so many new things in future. So now just opening this session for my participant, those who are watching this great session. So I request my participant, those who are interested, they can ask question to our panelists directly. I think Rohit, Mr. Rohit has raised his hand. Can anyone unmute Rohit?
Yeah.
Yeah. But thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity.
Yeah.
The first question specifically to Mr. Abhishek.
Okay.
However, I would like to have an answer from other doctors as well.
Yeah.
This COVID scenario might not last long enough. Are investors interested in a technical solution for the same? And the product that was showcased in this webinar, as per your suggestions, do you think that this would be useful post the COVID scenario?
Sure. Thank you so much, Rohit. I think so that you've talked about something which is very right. I mean, you have to look, investors are always looking for investable models. But I would tell you that we did not do this from a perspective of making money. We did this, we came to the market to really play our part in the times of this crisis. So right now we were definitely, it will have a very limited market beyond the COVID scenario. How long will the COVID last? Well, there's herd immunity and there is vaccination. In either case, next year end also, you'll still be hearing about the word COVID. That every epidemiologist to every expert doctor in community medicine understands. Whereas after COVID, you still have a good amount of market in the healthcare space. You know, right now you see yourself wearing a mask, yourself wearing a PPE, and you feel that, okay, this is the new world. Doctors have been living in this every day. They're exposed to virus. They're exposed to patient blood. They're exposed to so many different things. So imagine the patients in a cancer ward who are immunocompromised. There are certain, if there is a small child in your home, you see the small child picking up a toy, putting it in their mouth, the kind of things that our shoes bring into our house. There will always be a small market, which may be in millions, because after all, we are in India, 140 crore population. So market in millions will always remain. But right now, neither did we think about investors. We have someone from the industry supporting us. We never had to think about money, to be frank. And that's, we want to thank Mr. Rajendra sir for having that support and his complete capacity behind us to go forward without thinking about investors or to think about money. We were just told to think about doctors. We were told to think about patients. We were told to think about people giving public service. We were told to think about nursing staff. We were told to think about the pharmacists, everyone in the healthcare ecosystem. Yeah. Yes, it would take some time. At least for 2-3 years, we are committed to provide everyone with all this opportunity to sort of rid of termites, which are the particular aerosols of COVID. After it, the market is limited, but we are also doing advanced R&D to sort of attach it in different areas like ambulances. They will always need sanitization. How many ambulances are there in India? Now we know that the next patient might get infection from the previous patient. It makes 10 to 15 rounds a day. Every ambulance needs it. So now we'll choose different departments and different areas and personalized solutions to that. We might not think about money right now, but when there is a right heart and there is real business need, really people need that thing, money always follows.
Yeah, very true. So now I request anyone who is willing to ask question. If not, then I will announce because I am seeing a few names which maybe I am aware. So I request Colonel Kailash sir, because just interacted with him, and I request Kailash sir to say a few words on this initiative, and if you have any concern and question, please ask to our panelist. Colonel Kailash sir, are you hearing me?
Rajiv, yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, sir, please, sir, share your blessings to all of us. And
first of all, I must congratulate the entire team. It's been great pleasure interacting with Kothari sir and the entire team. It's a great product in difficult time. And as Mr. Kothari was saying, innovation, innovation, and innovation.
True.
That's how the life must go on, and challenge will come through innovation. We should be able to face the challenges, but innovation is life.
Yeah. Very true, sir.
And all the best to the team.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for this appreciation, and we need a lots of appreciation because we are doing a small thing, but with a bigger objective to bring the best mind all across the world, where we will engage ourselves and we will have positivity all around, where people will see and think, yes, this is a temporary phase. We had seen in the past many such crises. We had already overcome. Again, this crisis we will overcome, and future will be brighter and better for everyone. There is no doubt on that.
Rajiv, compliments are also due for you for conducting this session so beautifully. Thank you very much.
Thanks, sir. Thanks.
So can I go with one more question?
Yeah, please, Rohit. Yeah, you can.
So to all the doctors and every panelist over here, we have seen that there were diseases with a mortality rate of even 30%, such as the Ebola virus. But whereas COVID, just with a mortality rate of 2%, it became a pandemic, whereas Ebola was just an epidemic. What, what according to you turns a epidemic into a pandemic?
Yeah, I'll answer this. See, Ebola infectivity is one thing. Another thing is the mortality rate. See, mortality rate of Ebola was high, but the transmission from one person to another person is less. See, 100 in Ebola, only 100 people can get infected, 30 will die. But in COVID, something like 10,000 in the same period of time, 10,000 can get affected. And when it is 2%, the number of deaths will increase. So many people will increase. Another thing is we don't know anything about COVID and how is presenting and everything. It will change now. Post COVID symptoms of signs and symptoms we are seeing. We are trying to understand. It's a learning process, a continuous process. The best thing is protect yourself, be safe, try not to get any COVID. Social distancing, wear mask, then definitely, and surface disinfection is very important. We, like doctors, all our hospitals, like before this UV light has come, and we are disinfecting all the surfaces, like sitting on a bench and everything with liquid disinfectant, fumigating like that. For them also, this UV light is workload will reduce. Okay, so this will continue. This will continue. I am saying, like people are very scared and everything. I will say that I will wait till 2021. Things will become normal. After 2021, yeah, if you have mental upset, yeah, whatever it is, this status quo, just relax till 2021. After 2021, things will become normal, near normal. If not like pre-COVID times like that, but the new normal will come, and things will be better. So. Very distressed people, especially don't have a job or anything, things will become normal. Don't worry. Wait till 2021. That's what I want to tell.
Okay. So
I'll just
Jayatra,
add to that.
yeah.
Rajesh, I just wanted to add to that. It's a good point, comparing it to something like Ebola. So there is something called as an R naught of any kind of disease. R naught decides, I mean, this number, the higher the number, more number of people it's going to affect. So let's say that there is a disease with R naught of 1, and there is another disease of R naught of 5, or there is a disease with R naught of maybe 10. The disease, as you go higher in terms of your R naught, that's when you see that the disease will going to affect and start affecting a lot of population, not just you. It will be difficult to even limit it to one area. As far as the difference between an epidemic or a pandemic, that's WHO. It's a global set of standard requirements they need to see. They look at R naught, they see how many different geographies, how many confirmed cases in different, how many sort of different kind of tests they've done to accumulate all of that, and then they sort of analyze the data, and after that only they come to taking a call of whether anything can be called a pandemic, and that's up to the WHO. But it's the R naught which sort of differentiates this. COVID is really big in terms of R naught compared to Ebola. Ebola was smaller, but mortality rate was higher. You're right.
I have a question to Dr. Jayatra. To my understanding, what we have been told or being educated from media and some other channel also, in Western countries, they are not getting a vaccination. But in India and in Eastern country, we are being vaccinated from our birth. So, is there any correlation that we are getting less impact of corona? What do you say on that?
Sir, scientifically, when I tell like literature, like if I tell, see, many things are, these are definitely some observation. In India, we are being affected from our childhood with lot of infection and everything. We are more resistant to it. Into Western world, where the surfaces and infection rate in the environment is very less. See,
Yeah.
this cholera and everything so common. So our immune system is already some reverse kind of thing. So minimal like infection is resistible. So definitely seeing that, definitely what we are seeing, what we are observed. See, in future, in another 1 or 2 years, we'll get all this in medical journals. We're going to get these papers. So these are depending on these observations only. We do studies and we do studies and see. So definitely we feel definitely our Indian population is more resistant. Seeing the mortality rate compared to our Western world, this can be true. That cannot tell you scientifically at this point of time.
Yeah.
1 year or 2 years we can.
But when the test will be done and this analysis will be done in future with all the data and other things, so I think we will be in a position to tell, yes, because of our past vaccination, we responded in a better way.
Yeah,
One
but
more,
whatever it is, you have to maintain social distancing, and you cannot. You're not a
we should not be confident. We should not be confident and not to take the thing lightly also. Another very unusual thing in India, it's a kind of blessing in another way. Our unhygienic standard of living somehow protecting from this virus because we have developed a better immune system. What do you say on that?
Sir, we cannot say like that. Because of tuberculosis, we have a lot of deaths and everything.
Yeah.
Malnutrition. See, if our nutrition in our population increases, definitely we can be more protected. Better immunity and more this kind of like now India compared to 80s or 90s, now what we see mortality rate, a society when how the maternity mortality rate, it has reduced so is reduced very significantly, and childbirth during that it has raised. The health system has reboosted nicely the last 20 years actually. But nutrition is very important, which is deficient in India. That if you give to the children, then definitely we can fight this kind of virus much better and easier.
Okay, thank you. So now we are having a less time. So I just want a final statement by all our panelist speaker during this COVID time, what they see, what they are feeling, and what would be their best suggestion to protect our life and also at the same time to contribute the whole humanity in a better way. So I just first of all ask Puneet, what would be his advice in this pandemic time to do and to see in future also? Puneet, your biggest statement.
So yeah, I mean, COVID times, it's obviously very different, and then we are adjusting to a new normal, and it has brought about a perspective change. Like we think about sanitation in a different way right now. We can't take it, carelessly. We have to be very careful. So that's why, due to the need of the hour, we came with UV Ninja. Why? Because we are taking sanitation more important. We are at home working, so that brings a question about mental health. How do we deal with ourselves? And we are with our family all the time, so it's very different. So I mean, we are living in a whole different kind of world, and it's going to be like that because of this perspective change. It is going to remain like that for a while. So whatever like if you're going to be a startup, you are going to have an idea, want to make a product.
Okay.
This perspective is very important.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
What I would like to
Thank you.
leave you guys with.
Abhishek, your suggestion, where you want to see our world in next 5 years?
So I think so. COVID has. I would want to again see traffic in Bangalore.
Okay, wonderful.
That's one thing. No, on a serious note, I think so. COVID has taught us the importance of healthcare system. I mean, on the Independence Day speech, it was such a big importance given by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji to about healthcare system, and he's announced a slate of measures. But everyone now out here in India, worldwide, recognizes that we need innovation, we need technologies in healthcare setting. So I expect that there will be more support, there will be more adoption, there will be more collaboration, and there will be much better advancements in healthcare. COVID has set that trend.
Yeah, very true. Very. Thank you. Sir, over to Rajendra Kotaria, sir. Your biggest statement to all of us.
So COVID, I will speak in Hindi.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, कोविड से डरना नहीं है, लड़ना है.
Yes.
ठीक है, बिकॉज कोविड काफी डरा रहा है हमारे को, तो हमें डरना नहीं है, लड़ना है. रिलैक्स रहिएगा, दिन में थिंक पॉजिटिव, जितना हो सकता है योगा कीजिए, मेडिटेशन कीजिए, टेक केयर ऑफ योर सेल्फ, स्टे अवे फ्रॉम द पीपल एज पॉसिबल एज मच, wear the mask, if
Yes.
required only go outside, otherwise be at with family. And as Jack Ma told, or Ratan Tata told, you are alive for this year, you are already successful.
Yes.
So try to be alive this year.
Very true.
Thank you.
Sir, हमारे बीच में we have star participant Rohit. So Rohit has another one question. So we are allowing Rohit to ask question. Rohit, please ask your question.
Thanks a lot, sir. And I won't trouble the doctors
Not at
anymore
all.
after this question. So actually, the world has faced several deadly outbreaks: Spanish flu, Asian flu, Hong Kong flu, HIV, SARS, CoV, swine flu, MERS virus, Ebola, and now this COVID. So what I was thinking that every time such a epidemic hits us, where it is a cause of infection, like so many millions die, and that includes doctors as well. So why shouldn't there be a scenario where the doctors aren't affected? Like, this is being turned out into a business. All these viruses are just turned into a business. What if it was a virtual monitoring of the patient? The patient can be at his home and the doctor can be at his home. The doctor would be, instead of 30, the doctor would surely be treating 10 patients, but this is surely worth his or her life. What are your thoughts about this product? And also, if there is a similar product, what do you guys think about the approvals? From where can someone get the approvals for the same product?
Sure.
Yeah, the first part I would like to answer. Okay. See, the thing is the treatment, doctor, is not like we are just treating, just giving medicine. When the patient is getting treated, there is not, physically is not ill. He's ill mentally also, because he's not, I'm not talking about COVID, any other disease. Let's take eye, diabetic retinopathy. The patient who has diabetic retinopathy, his vision is dropped. Okay, because his vision is dropped, he's not able to read the newspaper. Rather than me treating only diabetic retinopathy, has to mentally console him that your life will be good, you will become normal, or new normal will be there. Okay, it's not the doctor only like giving treatment. So there is human touch is that, until unless there is the human touch is there, the patient won't get treated well. Okay, so any technology like with this, all this artificial intelligence, when it come, some of the doctors say it will replace doctors. Doctors can, or nurses or health worker cannot be replaced. They can be empowered more with the technology and everything. But at the end, until unless the doctors touches the patients and treats him, the patient won't become 100%. This is what my part, and the technology part, I think someone else.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll just add to it. I mean, statistically, a nurse or a doctor without COVID, without all this, just in your emergency room, statistically, a doctor or a nurse is more, there's higher probability they'll die because of the work environment hazards that they face than a soldier on the border. It's not me, it's statistics out there. They're exposed to patient blood, they're exposed to different kind of chemicals, they're exposed to so many different things. It's always difficult. I think so, yes, it's a very good thing you've noticed that in COVID, a lot of doctors facing patients are getting affected. In India, we as it is have a shortfall of doctors, and we should make technologies which can protect our doctors, but without a doctor, there is no trust. Why will I take a medicine when I don't trust my doctor? You cannot take away the relationship between a doctor and a patient. Imagine at 2 o'clock at night in a tier 3 city or a village, a doctor may not be present. that is where artificial intelligence needs to go. That is where the technology needs to go.
True, true.
You're sitting at your home. It's
Correct,
locked
correct.
down. You don't have vehicle to go to hospital. So that's where systems wherein you can talk on your mobile phone and that can be analyzed by AI, which can tell you which doctor to go to. Those are the things we should be looking at. I think so both will coexist, and definitely technologies to protect the doctors, that should be welcome. We also looking to do that for doctors with this, for their mask, PPE.
Thanks, Abhishek. Thanks, and it's a great session, and I'm very thankful to all participants, those who come forward and join this session, and they try to just share their own queries and questions where we all learn. So thanks to all of you. We are very grateful for having such a great panelist and speakers like Dr. Jayatra PG, D. Rajendra, Mr. Kotaria sir, Mr. Abhishek Kausal and Puneet Raj, having a very different background with a different experiences, but they are on a mission, on one mission to overcome this crisis and to help the humanity through their innovation where they can defeat pandemic. And yes, together, our team, your team, sir, all participants will get some education and awareness. Yes, with this positivity, we will overcome this crisis. There is no doubt. And Rajendra sir, as he was telling, for everything, you need a small, robust team. Fortunately, as we had started this webinar series, we have formed a small team of 6-7 people where along with me, Mr. Kanisk Poddar is helping me, Kanika Malhotra, Bijender Sharma, Kailash Manchi, Rishabh Malik, they are good friends and we are working together to make this session very helpful to each and everyone. We are also getting a great support from our patron member, Mr. Atul Agrawal, Mr. Rohit Tripathi and Shravan Jajodia, those who are helping from their own support, and we are just taking this session to engage our community, to spread the big ideas, to help them. Yes, this is pandemic or this is a crisis, this is uncertainty. We will overcome. A time will come that things will be okay and we will start enjoying our old best time. There's no doubt on that. So always be with us and try to join our session in whatever time you have. Would love to interact with you and get your question also. So again, from core of my heart, thanks to each and everyone, all participants, all speakers and everyone. Thank you. Thank you from TEDx Kanke family. Rajendra sir, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Rajiv
thank
sir.
you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Rajendra sir, Jatra.
And namaste
for
and
taking our
happy
time.
Independence Day to all of you.
Happy
Yeah.
Independence Day.
Happy Independence Day to everyone. Proud to be doing this for India. And
Yeah.
thank you all for supporting us in this.
Thank you. Thank you. All the best.
Bye-bye.
All the best, team UV Ninja and Radiate of Ideators. Thank you.
Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, sir.
Hind.
Jai
Jai
Hind.
Hind, sir.